think that's all I have to say about the mirroring. So I'm gonna move on to the purpose of Act 4, which is it's just like it's expressing the grief for everybody in the play. Like you see everybody's reaction to grief and how they, process their emotions of death. Like this whole act is just about death and how people respond to certain deaths and how they are with their family. Um and then it's just the question of whether or not Hamlet will be responsible for his own actions. And the whole play, obviously, we talked about how it's just a bunch of unanswered questions. So everything is just another question. Every act is just a purpose for the readers to be like, wait, what's going on? What's happening? So you don't really get any answers throughout this whole play, like we talked about in class. But the last act, it was a lot going on. But so these two grave diggers at the beginning of the act, or at the beginning of scene 1, there's only 2 scenes, I think, in this act, but they're just long. They're talking about like whether or not Ophelia should have a Christian burial because it's like killing yourself is a sin. And so they're like, since she was believed to kill herself, they're like, should we give her a burial or whatever? And so then Hamlet with Horatio passes by and he's like, why are y'all treating these bones like that? What's going on? Like you supposed to treat the dead with like respect, whatever. And then he sees one of the bodies as an old friend, and he is just he realizes, he comes to terms with that everybody gonna die. Everybody gonna end up in the same place. No matter if you're a hero, you're a loser, whatever, you're gonna end up in the same place. So the scene is interrupted with the royal family and the ladies entering the graveyard to bury Ophelia, and then a fight happened between Larides and Hamlet. And so then Hamlet is like, I actually loved Ophelia. I don't know what you talk about, because in Act 2, I think, Larides is telling Ophelia, like, girl, he does not love you for real. And Hamlet kind of acted that way in Act 3, that he didn't love Ophelia whenever he was like demeaning her and telling her that she should be a nun or something like that, and that she shouldn't be, out here acting that way. So he kind of contradicted himself because I don't see my glove. But anyways, he said he loved her and they got to fighting about it. And he tell him, like, I saw that letter that you sent talk about to Claudius, talking about, I know you were trying to kill me. And so that's why he came back to England, because he was like, I know you're trying to plan my death, so I'm about to come over here and let you know that that's not gonna happen. You already killed my dad, now you want to kill me? Question mark, question mark. So then he tells Horatio that he used his father's seal to write another letter to order the deaths of his friends. Yikes. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. And then a servant come and tell Hamlet, he's like, you need to duel Larides to make up for whatever's happening between y'all. The tension is just getting a little bit too much. Y'all need to duel it, fight it out. And so everybody come together, like the court come to watch, everybody making a big deal about it. And Hamlet starts, and he's just like, you know what? I am so sorry. I know I killed your dad. I'm over here. He over here trying to get mad at Claudius for killing his dad, but he gonna go over here and kill Larides' dad, even though it's not on purpose, but still. He's very sorry about it, which is, this whole play would have been resolved if Claudius had said he was sorry for killing, even though I guess not, because he did it on purpose. But he started apologizing, and then they choose their weapons, and Larides take his sword with the poison on it. And then after they start Claudius' toast to the death of Hamlet before he's even dead. But he poisons the cup, whatever, just in case Hamlet doesn't win. But then Gertrude drinks the cup of wine and she dies, like, in the middle. And so Claudius is like, no, like, I killed my wife, da, 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 da. And he's upset and she dies. And they continue to fight, question mark. And then they fight, and then it somehow ends up that Hamlet has the sword that Laertes had with the poison on it. So they both are stabbed with the poison, and then they both start to die. So like they both were wounded by it, and Laertes dies first, and he warns Hamlet that Claudius was behind everything. Like the reason why Hamlet's dying, the reason why Gertrude's dying, really was because all of Claudius, everybody in the play that died, was because Claudius killing old Hamlet, because he's jealous of what old Hamlet had. So then Hamlet he asks Horatio to tell his story and make people, and he predicts that Fortinbras will become the king of Denmark. And so at the end, it kind of like everybody's dead from that side of the story. And Fortinbras enters, and he's just like, what's going on? He tells them that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern have been killed. And Horatio promises to tell him like everything that's been happening, like all the craziness that's going on. And Fortinbras is moved by Hamlet's story and offers him, a soldier's burial after he done killed somebody and acted all crazy about it. So yeah, that's in the story. A lot of unanswered questions. What happens to Claudius? I'm not really sure. Like, they didn't, oh, never mind. I didn't get into that. Sorry. Hamlet is mad that Claudius killed his mom and his dad. So he tells Claudius, girl, you better drink that wine and kill yourself, basically. So Claudius drinks the poison wine after Gertrude, and he dies. Sorry, I did not get into that. So yeah, every character dies besides Horatio. Really, that's kind of sad. But anyways, the mirroring part of this act, obviously, is Laertes and Hamlet. They are the main foil throughout this whole play. Like, this is the purpose. They're the main foils. So Hamlet is, he's reflective. He thinks a lot about his actions, like what he's gonna do. He's just like very thinking about the pros and the cons of each situation that he goes through. And Laertes is the opposite. He gonna jump into action. He found out that Hamlet killed his dad. Okay, let's go kill him. And Hamlet found out that Claudius killed his dad, and he don't even kill him until Act 5, and he found that out in 91. So it's just like, that's very opposite in how they react to certain situations. And then when Claudius is like, Laertes, how far would you go to kill Hamlet? He's like, I'll kill him in church. I'll slit his throat in the church, which is very, like, literally the exact opposite of what Hamlet did, because he had the opportunity to kill Claudius in the church for killing his dad, and he did it because he thinking too much about his actions, thinking like, oh, Claudius is gonna go to heaven because he's repenting, like, now in the church. Like, he's thinking about all the possibilities, whereas Laertes is like, whatever, if I get the chance, I'm killing him on the spot, no questions asked. So like, the way they react to situations, like the way they acted to their father dying, the way they reacted about Ophelia, like everything they do contrast each other. He's free-spirited, going to England to party, and Hamlet is like sad and depressed, and everything they contrast each other. So like the overall purpose of the Act 5 is just to say, like, everybody is gonna die, basically. The readers figure out that nobody is safe from death. Everybody is gonna just pass away at some point. And Horatio is the only character that's living. And yeah, it's just a lot of unanswered questions still. Like, nobody really knows what is going on in this play. So, yes. Any questions, please direct them to Michaela.